building. High priestess in the building, didn't let my fears kill me. Transmuted my pain in that cleanse in the rain. Down out, I was worth it and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became.
You know, at 6
It's
weeks,
bad.
possible that you can just have a late period.
Right,
It
right.
like, due to the stress and you know, eating habits, all type of stuff. A lot of the times, people think because they haven't gotten a period, oh, I must be pregnant, and it's
Right,
not even that. And come 2 months later, there go your period, and you thought you were pregnant.
right, right. Because I, like I said, I was already 2 months and I hadn't even missed the period. I hadn't because I didn't even know. I hadn't even missed a period. So it was just
Mhm.
like, oh shit. Okay, here we go. You know what I mean?
I
So
I know somebody who didn't know she was pregnant until 6 months, and it's because she wasn't having bowel movements because the baby was like constricting her bowels because it was like behind it instead of in front. And it's like right after that, the baby decided to pop out, and then she was able to poop again. But 6 months pregnant is when she found out.
right, right. And what if you're not ready for that kid? What if
Exactly.
you know you can't feed this kid, you can't take care of this kid? Let's say you're a single mom, because I was a single mom, and that shit is not something that you just fucking sign up for. I know there's a lot of girls who kind of think they're ready for single motherhood. I never was signing up for it. I just happened to be one, and that shit's not the fucking business. It's not. You can't even barely provide for your child, or if you're a provider, you're not home.
Mm.
And there's still shit. Me and my daughter is what, 20 something years old, and we're still working through stuff from me, for her feeling abandoned from me not being there, having to be at work, which a lot of single moms go through. If you're working, you're not home. And if you're home, you ain't making no fucking money.
Right. But I
You're
think what's deeper, I think what people don't realize, and I think it's so much deeper than just women, them saying you have to have that baby. Me personally, and not to offend anybody, but I think it's just more targeting the minority people,
mm,
because minority women, they see us more career driven. And if you're forced to have a child, say in the middle of you're about to become a lawyer or a judge or a surgeon, and now you're forced to have a kid, you're putting your career on hold. And to
mhm,
me, it's like that's where the government control. This is just me. I may be deep and going a little too deep, but I think that's where the control of the minority women to stop us, because we are becoming judges, we're becoming surgeons, we're becoming lawyers. When you go to the doctor, you see more minority nurses and surgeons
mm,
than you usually do. Before it was more,
Than in the past.
right,
so to me,
right,
it's like now we are more focused. Not everybody is driven to be a mom. Not everybody's driven. Some people are driven for their careers. They want to be that judge that they always dreamed of to be, not
right,
to be that mom of the two children and the picket fence and the husband. Not every woman feels like that. And to me, more minority women, we are more educated now and are actually, going for our goals. And to me, this is what's trying to keep us. Because, like I
right,
said, a woman about to pass the bar and become a lawyer, she finds out she's pregnant, and now you telling her she has to keep it. Man, listen, you know what I mean? And then let's just be honest. I'm gonna keep it a buck. The white women that are well off, that has money, they do it all the time. They just do it
right,
private. That that's all that is. They do it on a hush. They go to another state. They go to another country, and there's
mhm,
no paper trail. But they don't allow it to stop their career. Many a
right,
time, I'm sure that they done had abortions, but it's on the hush. So now
right,
when you're forcing to me, you're forcing the women, and it's gonna affect the minority women. And go back to what you said, AG. There's some women that has 4 or 5 children that is already struggling, a single
right.
mother. And now we all know condoms are not 100%, as
Nope,
well as birth control is not 100%.
nope.
And here we go, we have this slip up. And now you telling me I got to keep this baby that I barely could feed these fives that I got already. I'm trying to get me and my kids up out of poverty, and you telling me I got to keep this kid.
Right.
So, and I think it's more deeper than just trying to take our women rights away.
Right.
That's just me.
um it is there's so many levels to this. It like I've seen a lot of people, and it's like they're like pro-life, and I'm like, I'm not for it or against abortion. It's not my business. That's how I feel. It's not my business to look at someone else. And I was someone who's very judgmental on abortion at one point. But I know that that stemmed from me losing my daughter. And I would see, after losing my daughter at 15, I would see these shitty ass moms, let's be real, and their babies would be dirty. They fucking diaper would be full. They getting their ass beat and all this other shit with their kids, or their kids they're on the third person that they're calling daddy. That's not even the fucking father. Right. And I was so judgmental about that. Cause I was like, I know that I'm a good mother. I know I'm a better mom. Why the fuck do they have kids? So my anger was in my judgment. And so it took me a long time to work through all of that and take away my judgment on somebody else's life, because it has nothing to do with me sitting here telling somebody else, oh, you opened your legs, so what? Because I hear a lot of people saying it, and it triggers me, because I was like, oh my God, how could I have been that blinded with my anger on this situation? Because you're telling someone, yeah, have this kid. I'm not gonna help you pay for this fucking kid, though. I'm not gonna help you pay your bills. I'm not gonna help you put this motherfucker through college. Why am I telling you to have this kid? But I know for me, a lot of it, the judgment came out of my anger from what I went through. And I was, projecting that. I don't know what everybody else's excuse for it is, but I hope people start to take that back, because this argument about kids, who the fuck is raising them? I'm like, we can't even keep milk on the shelves, right? There's a shortage of fucking milk, yet I keep arguing this point. You don't see a shortage of cigarettes and alcohol. Have you guys ever in your lifespan, and I've been here 42 years, haven't seen a fucking blackout where there's no cigarettes, no liquor?
It's always available. But it it's really not about being pro-abortion, because I would say I don't think any of us are pro-abortion, but
Right,
we are truly pro-choice. Like, it is not our decision. We're not going to be the ones to feed, clothe, bathe, care for any of these children. And then if they do end up on the system, the people that are saying, oh, you have to have these babies, are the same ones complaining about the taxes that they have to pay
right,
for the mothers that are on public assistance.
Hmm.
right, right. So not only no one's getting more money for having these kids, so they have to go on public assistance, and it keeps the chain of bullshit that we know that's been in place for fucking decades. Not to mention that the kids that do end up, because these mothers can't, end up in foster care, we know foster care is not a safe option. Not every foster parent is loving and kind, and we know this. There's way too many people that we know that go through shit, that are abused, and this through that. We also know that is also the government getting money for these kids, right? If they go to foster care, that's more money that they have. So definitely a lot of levels. One of the things I think on a medical basis people don't realize, it was sad for me to look at how many of these states that had a total ban. And what that means is there's no exception for incest and rape. Incest and rape, no exception. So you just got to keep this kid. Your father can rape you, impregnate you, and you got to keep the kid.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like, what happened to separation of church and state? So it's like they're saying, oh, it's God's will. Like,
The fuck?
And that same woman, that same young girl, now mentally either tries to kill herself or that baby every time she looks at that baby's face, because mentally she cannot deal with that. But you forced her to now keep a child, and now, quote unquote, murder that child because
Right.
mentally she can't. I mean, just think about it. If it was you, I know I couldn't do it. And I'm a strong woman, but I know I couldn't do it. I could not raise a child that my father raped me, or my brother, or my uncle, or even out of
Right.
rape, period. I'm going to be honest. I couldn't look in my child's face every day and know that that child was brought here due to violation of me.
Right. Not created in love at all. Because when we're talking about like lives being created in love, it's definitely not created in love in that moment. There's a lot of horror and there's a lot of shit. Someone who's been through rape, there's a lot of horror. There's a lot of fear in that moment of what you're going through. And to force someone knowing that they can't love that child, knowing that they can't, there's no way, and we know sometimes children come out looking exactly like the fucking parent, right? It's
Yeah.
hard enough when you split from the father of the child and your child looks like your child, and you have to stop yourself from being angry at your child in moments of shit like that. But then to go through that and have to deal with it, it's like, where's the psychological part of this that you guys aren't even giving a fuck about this part, the mental state of these girls, right? And it's like, oh well, and that shit right there, it's God's will. The fuck kind of bullshit, like
Yeah.
brainwashed bullshit is this? Like, how can you say that? And I feel it's crazy because we know back in the day, incest was a thing. We know blue blood and trying to keep your pure lines. And we know that shit was very popular. To me, unfortunately, if you look at the states, they are predominantly white states. And I'm not racist. I love everybody, but they are predominantly white states. And for me, I feel like there's an underlining thing of you trying to create where, oh, you could just start raping and molesting people and it's okay.
And keep it in the bloodline. But those are the same people that sat there and slavery whipped on them with the Bible in their hand, quoting Bible verses while they were whipping these men and raping these women. So these are the same people that think it's okay. These are the same people that's saying, no, you have to keep a kid if it's by rape. And again, where is and we all know also DNA is serious. DNA, not only can the kid look like the person, the kid has their DNA. So now you know what you're dealing with, because if that person had mental health issues,
Right.
that kid can now have mental health issues. And now you're raising a kid dealing
Right.
with mental health issues. Like, it's just, to me, no, not caring about the mother.
Right.
It's
Right.
like fighting for a kid that isn't even here. Fight for the mother that's already struggling, that's probably already going through mental health issues and trying to figure out what she's going to do. I mean, just as a mom and being a single mom working, how many times do we come home after having a hard day at work or having a bad day at work, not doing it purposely, but come home and have an attitude and,
Yeah.
and scream out at our kids, not doing it purposely, but
Right.
because we're having a bad day. Being a single mom. So now if you have 5 kids, now you're pregnant, single mother, having to work, coming home,
Right.
now take care of those kids also. And then you wonder why that woman is probably abusing her kids. Not saying that it's right, because it isn't right, but goddamn, it's like she can't win or lose. Like, give her the choice to be able to say, you know what? I know I can't take care of this child. I know that if I bring this child into this world, it's just suffer. So let me have the right to not even give it life. Like, I mean, let's just be honest. That's like, you can't miss something you never had. What, you want them
Mm.
to have a kid and then wait till that kid is 2, 3 years old and then murder that kid?
Right.
Now,
Right. Right.
but that whole you have an abortion at 7 weeks and 8 weeks, oh, that's murder. No, that's not murder. Having a
Mm.
kid at 3 years old, I'm having a kid 3 years old and then killing it because you
Right.
can't take care of it, or you have, you're overwhelmed with going. Now that's
Right.
murder. That's a whole totally different, situation.
And how many situations have we seen throughout our lifetimes of mothers completely killing their children? It was sad. I just saw one that came across me on one of my social media where the mom called 911 and she was like, I need an ambulance. And the lady's like, why? And she was like, I killed my kids. And she was like, you better send someone fast. And the lady was like, what? Like what?
Yeah.
She didn't even know how to answer that. And she was like, yeah, she was like, well, one's still breathing and that one's screaming for help. And I don't know what to do. I can't handle it. Like she literally had lost her fucking mind. attempted to kill all of them. One didn't die, and that one was asking for help and completely like, what the fuck, threw this lady off. And it's like when you get desperate and when you can't feed your fucking family, you don't know, because I've been there where I couldn't put food on my daughter's table. I could, you know what I mean? There was times where it was like it got rough, and there was a couple times I had to do what I needed to do to get money. You know what I mean? To get in those mindset, it's like it's horrible to be there not to know, and then to be told like, oh well, you just need to have another kid, but no one's gonna fucking help you. Now I was working and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became.